Hey everyone, this is Kristin from KristinCoaching.com, and thank you so much for joining me for another video. It's good to see all of you. So we're going to be talking about one-sided relationships. We're going to be talking about what they are, how to spot the signs, and what to do essentially if you are in a one-sided relationship. So most likely, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you have already noticed that the relationship that you're currently in is feeling unbalanced. That is probably the main reason why you want to get more information and figure out kind of what's going on. Because when we're in a relationship where it doesn't feel like it's an equal partnership, an equal distribution of effort, it can cause a lot of pain internally, essentially. It can cause a lot of disappointment, hardships, and negative feelings that you don't want to feel. Or maybe you're watching this video because you know someone who's in a one-sided relationship, and that can be really, really frustrating for the person who sees from the outside of what's going on. A small little story, I had a friend who was in a one-sided relationship actually very recently, and she was telling me about the relationship, and there were absolute sign after sign after sign after sign that it was very imbalanced and it just wasn't an equal effort. And I was helping her and trying to point out all the signs of what was unhealthy about it, and ultimately it wasn't making her happy, and she was able to see it at times, but the denial piece was really, really strong because there were a lot of aspects that she really did like about him. So she continued to be in the relationship with this guy for months and months and months and months, with all these signs that we're going to be talking about later, and ultimately ended up breaking it off because she was not happy and her needs weren't being met. And I'll be talking a little bit about her as we talk about the signs as well, to show you what she went through as well. So let's just dive into it. It's important to understand that, again, when it comes to like a one-sided relationship, basically what that means is that the efforts that you're putting into the relationship are not reciprocated by the other person. You're kind of feeling like you're doing more and more and more for them, and they're not giving that effort back. So you're left with questions about, well, what does he think of me? What does he think of this relationship? Is he not, as into me as I am into him? And also usually with these types of relationships, communication is not really on point, and you're often guessing how the other person is feeling about you. And that can be really hard and bring up a lot of insecurities as well. So there's definitely an imbalance when it comes to these types of relationships. And again, it can cause a lot of heartache and pain down the road, and a lot of questions and insecurities and doubts. So it's really important to be able to spot the signs that you're in it so you know what to do about it. And there are things that you can do. So I want to give you hope. So we will talk about that at the end of this video, okay? Oh, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube page already, please do so, and you will get notifications every time I post a new video. Okay, so let's just do it. The first sign that you are in a one-sided relationship is that you are noticing that you are making all of the plans to hang out. You're deciding where to go to dinner. You're deciding what to do for your date night. You're deciding, where to go with your group of friends. And you're asking for input, and he's just like, I don't care. Whatever you want. So you tend to be making all these executive decisions for, doing those activities that are supposed to be really enjoyable and a collaborative effort. And he's not putting in that energy. So that's just a little sign, but it is a big one, and it's important to recognize and pay attention to. And then another sign that he's not into you is that you're just not feeling like you are a priority. If you are putting him kind of first, and you're really factoring in his needs and his wants and making time to hang out with him when you have a busy schedule yourself, and you're feeling like he's not going out of the way to do that, that can be really hard and painful, and showing that things are kind of lopsided here in the relationship. Another sign that your relationship is one-sided is that you're the one who seems to be initiating communication between you guys. Are you the one who's texting him first in the morning or saying goodnight before bed? Are you the one who is calling him to make the plans? Are you the one who is initiating conversation when you are together and you're finding that he's not really engaged as much? That can be a sign that you're kind of putting in more effort than he is, and that can be really hard. Another one is that, and this is a big one, if you feel like you are defending his behavior to your friends. And then this brings back my friend who was in the relationship. She 100% was defending his behavior. A lot of people were able to see, like, hey, this isn't right how he's treating you. He ditched you on your date to go hang out with somebody else, to hang out with his friend. Like, you don't ditch somebody on a date to go hang out with somebody else. That's not fair to you. And this person, my friend, kept, making excuses like, oh, he needed to go, he had plans, whatever it was. She had to rationalize in her mind that it was okay that she was hurt, essentially, and that she got left, and that bottom line is she wasn't a priority for him. And it was really hard to see her in that situation, and I'm sure it was even harder for her to be in that type of a situation. So that's a common one. If you are defending the person that you're with and their negative behaviors, if you're defending those behaviors and justifying why it's okay, it's really something to look at internally and figure out why you feel the need to do that. And, you have to also understand that your friends, if you have good friends, they have your best interest at heart. So if they are saying things that, are kind of bringing to light that he is not really doing the best things and he's not, caring about you and putting you number one, I know it's hard to hear, and it's important to listen and just hear it. You don't have to make any decisions, but just hear it and try not to, be so defensive, and just be open and receptive to the information, because that's really important. Okay, and then another sign that he is not into you as much, and it's a one-sided relationship, is that you're feeling stressed a lot. Because usually in these types of relationships, again, the communication isn't on point on his end. So you are guessing what he's thinking, you're guessing what he's feeling, you're really worried about where things are going because you don't know, and it can just cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. And so that's hard, and I want to validate that for you, because that's a hard situation to be in. And just a couple more. Again, like we talked about, he's not going out of his way to make effort and make decisions and do things with you. Also, the issues that you're feeling in your relationship are not addressed. And that's definitely a sign of a one-sided relationship, because if you have a dual-side relationship, you have healthier communication. Like, you're able to talk about things. You're able to engage and not be so worried about what your other half is going to think, and that's going to prevent you from talking in the first place. Usually in a one-sided relationship, you're going to not talk about certain things because you're afraid that he's going to get mad, or you're afraid he's going to end it, or you don't know how he's going to feel. So you're so paralyzed with fear that you don't say anything at all. So a lot of issues go unresolved. And so if you have a lot of things that you're not happy about and those aren't changing, that could be a sign that things are not even and equal. And just a couple more, if he's not asking about how your life is going and what your day was like, and he just doesn't seem as interested in the play-by-play of your life, but you're always asking him, what he did today and who he talked to, and that you're really engaged and you want to hear about it, but he's not putting in that effort back, that can be a problem. And then also, you have to trust your gut. Okay, if you feel that something is wrong, if you think about the relationship and you get those butterfly feelings, but not in a good way, sometimes we have the really positive butterflies in there, like, fluttering around and it feels really good. But then you also have those butterfly feelings where it's kind of crampy and a little bit of a stomach ache and you're really not feeling too well. You gotta trust that gut instinct. That's your intuition that's telling you something needs to change. And your needs are not being met. And we want to get your needs met because you deserve that. So where do we go from here? Okay, we've talked about signs, we recognize it, what's next? Honestly, I think realizing that you're in the one-sided relationship is the majority of the battle here, because again, denial can be so big, and oftentimes people can stay in relationships unhappy long term and it goes nowhere. So the fact that you can even recognize that you're in a one-sided relationship is huge. I always tell people to address it. If you don't address it with the person that you're in the relationship with, nothing is going to change. You think it might, you're hoping it will, and it really doesn't. Because by not addressing things and telling him what your expectations are and what you want in the relationship, he's just going to continue doing his behaviors and engaging in the things that he's engaging in. Like, why would he have any incentive or motivation to change if he doesn't know that his behaviors are impacting you and hurting you and impacting the relationship? So you have to be honest and open. And plus, that's a core foundation to a healthy relationship, is to let the person that you're with know how you feel. And if you can't do that, that's a really, really big sign that something is very off here and not working. So if you can muster up the strength and bravery to say something, I definitely encourage you to do so. That is huge. And then also, sometimes people who are realizing that they're in this situation, they might decide, wow, I didn't see this before and I didn't notice these signs. And, and sometimes people are ready to part ways and break up because, again, at the end of the day, in any relationship, your needs need to be being met. You have things that you want out of life. You want to be in another relationship so your partner can make you happy and contribute to your well-being and your happiness and your fulfillment. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this is a really tough conversation to have and a topic to discuss, but it's really important as well. So I hope that you got some valuable information on it. And please feel free to leave some comments or ask some questions below, and I'll be happy to get back to you as soon as I can. And I will see you guys next time for my next video. And you take care. Bye.